One of the readiness assurance process quiz questions for Module 3 that some teams missed was number 9. And here we're asked to consider Angela's biological, the key word is biological, survival constraint from the set of cases presented in Chapter 5. Why does the biological survival constraint slope upward and leftward from point Z in the diagram? Z is right there, and the curve we can see is labeled slopes upward and leftward. And this is one that you needed to know from the reading. But and hopefully you had it in your notes. In order to be willing to work more hours, Angela will need to receive more bushels of grain. Well, her biological constraint is not about her willingness or lack thereof. That would be some sort of an indifference curve. This is her survival constraint. So we can get rid of question A. I'm trying to move to the pencil. There we go. I'm having some technical issues, some lag here. When Angela works more hours, she is burning more calories and will need more grain. And that sounded a lot like the biological need there. And that's what it is. This is just, what does he have to let her eat to keep her alive and able to work? And if Angela works harder, she's going to burn more calories and she's going to need more food. So B is looking pretty good. Let's look at C. When Bruno has more grain, he becomes willing to share more with Angela. No, that's got nothing to do with it. That's not true even when we're focused on Bruno, but we're talking about Angela's biological survival constraint. When Angela has more free time, she will want more grain too. Again, as I talked before, this isn't about wanting, it's about what she needs to sustain herself. And in any case, more free time would be this direction, not upward and to the left. So the more grain happens as she works more, not as she has more free time. So B is the runaway winner here, and that's the right answer. Number 10 was one where there were some changes. So let's just read over the problem. When the rules change for Angela, the farmer, and Bruno, the landowner, from coercion to laws administered by courts and enforced by police, which of the following statements is or are true? Angela's well-being does not improve because Bruno still has the power to make a take it or leave it offer, and Angela's reservation option is miserable. Angela's well-being improves a bit because now Bruno must make an offer that makes her at least as happy as she would be in her reservation option. And 3, Angela works more when laws and police support Bruno's property rights than she did when Bruno coerced her to work. Well, this was one of the harder ones in this readiness assurance process quiz, and you're going to had to have in your notes that graph, or you'd just be guessing blind, which of course I know you guys would never do that. I happen to have that graph in the next panel, so let's go over there. Remember, does her well-being stay the same? Does it improve? Does she work more or less? So this statement 3 says she works more. So let's look at the graph. Well-being does not improve. And remember, we're talking about improve relative to the coercion outcome. Two, her well-being improves a little bit. Yep, because now he must make an offer that she can take or leave, so she needs to be at least as happy as she would be in a reservation offer to take it. So 2 is true. Angela works more when law is implemented. No, we saw she worked less. So 2 alone, C is the right answer. Well, now we have this vestigial biological survival constraint, but now when Bruno has to make Angela a take it or leave it offer, well, she has the ability to say no. So now it's her indifference curve, and indeed her reservation indifference curve, that matters. This is some level of government benefit if she works for 0, if she has 24 hours of free time. And here, notice that all along this indifference curve, she'd be just as well off as not working. So she'd be indifferent. She'd be willing to work. This amount of grain that she'd be compensated for working makes her just willing to work. And notice that this optimum has her at 16 hours of free time, working 8 hours. And we know that because the marginal rate of substitution is just equal to the marginal rate of transformation. So the marginal rate of substitution is what Bruno is willing to pay Angela for 1 more hour's work. Remember, we're moving this way. And marginal rate of transformation is how much grain is produced from 1 more hours of work. And the gains from 1 more hours of work, steeper slope here, are greater than what Bruno's got to pay Angela along her reservation difference curve, all the way up to point C and point D. That's that tangency there. Any additional offer would cost Bruno more than it would take to get Angela willing to work 1 more hour. So notice she's working fewer hours, she's got more free time, and she's got more grain. So let's go back to our choices. Notice that the coercion outcome is at B, and that would be on a lower indifference curve than she's on at D. So 1 is out.